Hi, my name is Jasmine Rudy. I currently have an elementary education certification and I work as an instructional supervisor at the Harrisburg Support Center of PA Cyber. I also supervise both the Clicks and Bricks classroom as well as our new GAP classroom on site. Both of these classrooms allow students who are struggling to come in for support. I think this is a step toward future schools, this combination of cyber school and face-to-face contact. Today is August 31st, 2012, and we will be analyzing schools of the future. We will look particularly at ways to work collaboratively with parents and engaging them productively in the work of the school. I will first discuss two sources, one on the challenges faced when balancing collaboration between the school and the home, and the other on the educator's expectations of parent participation. We will then hear from Academy leader Caitlin Hollinger on her thoughts on schools of the future, parent roles, and forms of collaboration we will see in the future schools. To close, I will review some of my own teaching goals related to the topic of parent collaboration in future schools. In the first article, Carol Wanna analyzes parent perceptions of the challenges in balancing collaboration and independence in home. 20 parents in a K-12 public school district participated in a semi-structured interview to share their perceptions of ways in which their children's schools encouraged their involvement or created barriers that discouraged them from taking active roles through communication, volunteering, and other school-sponsored activities. Wanna begins the article with the obvious. Parents' collaborative relationships with schools have a positive impact on academic achievement. Walnut's studies found that satisfied parents were often more involved not only inside of the school, but also outside of the classroom as well. These parents welcomed opportunities to volunteer. On the other side, dissatisfied parents rarely volunteered and concentrated more on being involved in their child's life outside of school. Parents involved at home asked the teachers for advice, but became frustrated when they felt that their questions were not being heard. Parents suggested that inviting other parents to participate was a good strategy to get others involved. Parents in these interviews also suggested that ways in which teachers communicate with families and other faculty members can inhibit a parent's desire to participate and collaborate. Walnut concludes her article with the idea that her study suggests schools could be more welcoming to all parents. Participants felt educators should be trained to communicate with parents and that communication should be more frequent. Parents felt that by the time they found out about academic issues, it was too late to help their child, but had they found out sooner, they could have helped. In Audrey Trainer's article, Educators' Expectations of Parent Participation, the Role of Cultural and Social Capital, Trainer explores 17 educator expectations of parents' acquisition and use of cultural and social capital through focus group interviews. While this article does lean towards the special education process, it does shed light on collaboration issues. Trainer notes that education policies such as the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Improvement Act of 2004 promote parent participation. She also says that the education policy is built upon the assumption that parent participation will aid student achievement and access to educational opportunity. Since this is the case, developing educators' attitudes towards abilities to work with families is critical, according to Trainer. The article identified that, from the perspective of educators, families often seem uninvolved and even passive despite teacher invitations to participate. Collaboration is challenging. Within the focus groups, educators were promoting parent collaboration through meetings, invitations to the class, and sending papers home with areas for the parent to fill in regarding the student's homework. Across the board, educators agreed that families of lower socioeconomic status participated and collaborated less. It is thought that these parents are not as active in their use of or do not have access to the cultural and social capital. The solution to this, as presented by Trainer, would be to educate the educators in working with these families. Now, we will hear from Caitlin Hollinger on her thoughts.
I would hope that the school of the future would collaborate more with parents in terms of equipping parents with the knowledge and the skills to assist students towards educational success. History often repeats itself, and I would hope that one day we could get back to parents being more involved in their child's education and valuing education. The current society is so busy, and so many parents have to work long hours or even double jobs. Things like this need to be taken into account when thinking about collaborating with parents. There needs to be an effective and efficient way to connect with parents and have parents connect with the teachers and the student in order to have them more involved in the student's education. At PA Cyber, we collaborate effectively with parents in our bi-weekly phone calls and sometimes even weekly in the communication with them through email or phone conversations to help keep them involved in the child's education. They also have easy and quick access to students' grades and coursework 24/7, so that puts them directly in link to their child's grades and ultimately their entire education. We work collaboratively with them to help students by setting goals and keeping the students on track and providing any supports or enrichments that they need. So parents always have play a key role in their child's education at our school. It would be really nice to see brick and mortar schools collaborate with parents as much as PA Cyber does. Using PA Cyber's model as an example, the school of the future would require parents to play a more significant role in their child's education, whether it be in brick and mortar schools or cyber school. Parents need to be held more accountable for their child's education, which would be done through more collaborative efforts between the school and the parent. Both parents and teachers' time is very limited and valuable. However, new methods need to be enacted in order to open up more lines of communication between teachers and parents so that collaboration can occur. Many comments I've heard from parents coming from brick and mortar schools or any other school is that they had never heard from a teacher before unless it was for when things are going wrong. More exchange of communication must occur between teachers and parents to aid in the success of students. I think that the most common forms of collaboration would be a direct line of communication from the teacher to the parent and vice versa. Parents must be informed with the student's progress on a daily basis. They cannot wait until a marking period has gone by to get a report card or even a semester to see if the student's struggling. Parents need immediate access to grades and progress to stay in tune with their child's education. Parents also need to be given the tools to understand how their child is doing and be empowered to take action in order to better the child's education.
To end this presentation, I would like to discuss a few goals that I have for myself in the coming year to promote good relationships with my families and encourage parent involvement. A key goal that I have is to maintain open and regular communication with the families we interact with in my programs. This will start from day one when I sit down with the parent and the student to learn why the student is coming in and what they need support with, as well as what the parent's goals and expectations for their child are. After the first day, I plan to communicate with parents regularly to get their input on how their child is progressing, communicate strategies for them at home with their child, and form relationships with the families. A second goal is to provide parents with regular progress updates. This includes both academically and behaviorally. I plan to have weekly progress reports that show parents how their child's week has gone in comparison to the previous week, and also provide immediate notification and opportunity to discuss behavioral concerns. A third goal for my classrooms, and possibly the most important, is making a conscious effort to identify the positive with the negative. It is very important at the end of the day for a parent to hear the student's struggles, but also their successes. Thank you for listening.